So we move on to formulas now. We move on into formulas. So we're starting, what we've learned now, we're going to start to put it into formulas. So what is a formula? It's a rule for working out an amount of something. It can be written in words. It may have 2 or more steps. It will have 2 or more steps. It can use letters or symbols. Not often a combination of the two, but sometimes. Make sure that you follow the BIDMAS rule. Okay? We must follow the BIDMAS rule to work these particular things out. So we'll start off on the first one, which is formulas using letters. Okay? So we've got this here. I'll rewrite it on this board here. And you'll see this quite often in an exam. You'll see this quite often. 4AB squared. Now at the moment that doesn't mean anything. It just looks like numbers and letters mixed together. But at some point in the question you will be told what that A represents and what that B represents. Somewhere in the question it will say that A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 6. Okay? So once you've got that bit of information, you can then put that information into this. It doesn't become as scary. So if I was working this out, and this is what I want you guys to start to learn to do, is the first thing you do, you just substitute these letters for numbers. So keep the sum exactly the same. That 4, it's already a 4. A is 4, so we put a 4 there. And B is 6, so we've changed the 6. And don't forget the little indices too. So all I've done there, I've done nothing else apart from change the A and the B to the 4 and the 6. That's the only thing I've done. It's the first thing I've done. What you need to remember now is that in these gaps here, between the 4 and the A, and between the A and the B, goes a multiplication sign. Always. It will never be a division, it will never be an addition, it will never be a subtraction. It will always be a multiplication. Once we've got that, at that stage, we apply the BIDMAS rule. What's the BIDMAS rule? Brackets, there are none. Indices, there you go, 6 times 6, 36. Rewrite the sum, times sign, 4, times sign, 4. Now we've just got multiplications all the way through, so we can just put that in our calculator. 4 times 4 times 36, and boom, we get the answer. Okay? So whenever you see that, something that's written like that, don't panic, don't worry. You will be told what A stands for, you'll be told what B stands for, or whatever letter it is that's in there. Sometimes they use the letter Y. Substitute the letters for numbers, carry out the BIDMAS calculation. Fairly straightforward to do. Just remember that in them gaps always goes a multiplication sign. Okay? Fairly common in the exam. Yeah, fairly popular style question. So what happens if we get a symbol that looks like this? Because sometimes they'll put a symbol in there, mix it in with a question that looks like that. And this symbol means the square root. Okay, the square root. The square root of a number is a value that when multiplied by itself gives that number. For example, 4 times 4 is 16. So the square root of 16 is 4. In this case, if we have the number 64, the square root of that is 8, because 8 times 8 gives you 64. So they're starting to use these a bit more popular in the exam. Basically, the only ones you need to remember are the square root of 4 is 2, 2 times 2. The square root of 9 is 3, 3 times 3. The square root of 16 is 4, 4 times 4. You can see where this is going. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 64 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. square root of 81 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. And the last one, of course, the square root of 100 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. So that's all you need to remember. So these are the ones that will come up more often than not in the exam. You'll get an answer, and it'll be one of those answers, and it'll be inside the bracket, like that 64 is in the bracket there. It'll say, what is A equals the square root of 64, so A equals 8, because 8 times 8 is 64. And that's what that little symbol means. It looks like the divide sign, but that's got a bit of a kink in it, and it's got this little bit of a tick on the end of it, so it separates it from a divide sign. A divide sign is this, the bus stop, but your square root sign, it's got that little bit of kink on it there. Okay, so it looks slightly different. Let's look at an example.
In BIDMAS rule, when we're going to solve the square root?
At the end.
And
so if you see this particular style of question here, so this is what we've got here. We've got T, which stands for total. The total is equal to the square root of A squared minus B squared. And again, it tells us that A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 8. So we get into this square root symbol because we need numbers, we don't need letters. So we look at this first, the A, it's a 10. 10 squared, 100. Minus B squared, B is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So T is equal to the square root of 100 minus 64. So we would do that as a sum here. Let's just rub this off and I can do it. So T is equal to the square root of A squared minus B squared, where, what do we say, A equals 10, B equals 8. And again, do some kind of structured step by step. T equals the square root of 10 squared minus 8 squared. The first step, I've just changed the letters for them two numbers that are in the question. So T equals the square root of 10 times 10 is 100 minus 64. So T is equal to the square root of what's 100 minus 64? 36. So T is equal to the square root of 36. T is equal to 6. There we go. So step by step, logically, it might seem like a lot of writing, it might seem like repeating the sum over and over again, but you can see what you're doing. First step, that's the original sum. Second step, change the letters for numbers. Third step, carry out the BIDMAS calculations. Third step, and the last step is just come up with the answer. Alright, T equals 36. That makes sense. That makes sense. They are quite common, they are becoming a bit more common because of that, obviously, that symbol. And that's how it's worked. That's how it's worked out. We're going to come up with another symbol now, but you know this symbol. It's the pi symbol, where we've done that already. We've done it, haven't we? We've already done that. So pi times the radius times itself. Again, you've got to use the BIDMAS rule to work that particular question out. So we've already covered that. We don't need to look at it any further. Okay. So far, so good with that. Okay. I don't know why that says to be continued, but it does. Oh, that's because I'm going to do an area. So let's have a look at some formulas. Let's put what we now know into this, into working out some formulas. These are the formulas now we're going to start using some words. They're going to be becoming questions. So a formula is a type of rule. It's the rule for working out an amount. If I can pack 42 of these boxes in an hour, my boss has offered me a bonus if I can pack more than 300 of these boxes in 7.5 hours. Is there a formula I could use to work that out? Of course there is. There's a really basic, simple formula. You take the number of boxes you can pack now in 1 hour, which is 42. and multiply it by the number of hours that you're going to get given to do that, which is 7.5. That's a basic, simple formula. If I can pack 42 boxes in 1 hour, I've got 7.5 to pack them, so I can pack 315 boxes. It works. Yeah, it works a treat. So that's a nice, simple, basic formula. Quite easy, quite straightforward. But what happens if you make a mistake? What happens if you make a mistake? Very easily, and it could easily cost you. Okay, so that's my friend Sia there, and she's off to hire a car. There it is, there's Sia, there's the car dealer, Swiss. Hi, I'm Sia, and I want to hire this car for 26 weeks. Is there a formula I could use to work out the cost? Oops, gone the wrong way. So Swiss says, of course! It's 2,000 up front. 2,400 up front. Plus £270 a week for 26 weeks. So Swiss puts that into his calculator. Can somebody just do that for me? Pretend that you're Swiss Tony. Just put that in your calculator. 2,400 plus 270 times by 26.
9,420.
No, do it exactly as it's written on the board there. 2,400.
Oh,
yeah.
There.
Yeah, do it exactly as written on the board. 2,400 plus 270 times by 26.
9,420.
69420. If you put that sum exactly as it is in the calculator, you get 69420. 2,400 plus 270 times 26.
No,
not using the BIDMAS rule.
When we write the question like this, so are we not going to do
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is, I'm showing you how easy it is to make a mistake. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So what he's done in his calculator, he's put £2,400 plus the £270 a week, times it by 26 because she wants to hire the car for 26 weeks. So he's now told her that to hire that car is £69,420.
I will say you are.
Okay.
You want to steal from me or what?
So at this moment in time, Sia has fainted. Yeah?
Just take the 6 off and you get the measurements.
What's he done wrong?
Ethics.
He's not followed the BIDMAS rule, has he? He's not followed the BIDMAS rule. And like you said, you jumped in before he had a chance to have you to do the actual wrong sum. But that 2,400, it's a one-off upfront payment. You only pay that once. It's like the deposit. So he should have followed the BIDMAS rule, which is the 270 plus 20 times by 26 plus the 2,400. He didn't follow the BIDMAS rule, which then does make the car 9,420. So he didn't follow the BIDMAS rule. But that's how easy it is to make a mistake. Think to yourself, you're in this situation, you're in the maths exam, you look at the clock, you're running out of time, flipping it, you get a BIDMAS question, you panic, oh, 2,400 plus 20, doom, you've got that as your answer. No marks. No marks, yeah? So, it's dead easy to make the mistake. And I can imagine that this happens in places, maybe not as expensive as that, but I can imagine that this happens when people go to places and they don't actually know how to apply the BIDMAS rule. You can quite easily pay more than you actually need. Yeah? So that's what he did wrong. He didn't follow the BIDMAS rule. Okay. Let's have a look at another example, then you get a chance to do a few. Here's Tommy the plumber. So Tommy has a fixed call-out fee of £60 plus an hourly rate of 28. Tommy can use a formula to work out the cost of any job, and this can be written as T equals 60 plus 28H, where T is the total cost and H is the number of hours that he's actually going to do the job for. How much would Tommy charge a customer for a job that took him 4 hours? So there's the question. Not a difficult question, relatively straightforward. Let's just work it out. Let's just work it out. So let's, first of all, we write the formula. The formula is T equals 60 plus 28 with the little h on the end. So what makes these questions look a bit funny is when we're normally doing a maths question, the equals sign comes at the end. But in this instance, they start to become at the beginning, so it looks a bit funny. T just stands for the total. The total is equal to 60 plus 28h. The 60 in the question is his call-out fee of 60 pence. Like with Swiss Tony, the 2,400, the call-out fee is 60 pence. So we just rewrite the sum. They don't change, they're exactly the same. They're already numbers. There's the operation, they're already numbers. The h is the number of hours that he's worked. Tommy worked for 4 hours, so the h becomes a 4. Okay, there it is. But because these two are together, 28h, in that gap goes the multiplication sign. Okay? What have we now got? We've now got our BIDMAS question. Similar to what we've just had with Swiss. BIDMAS 28 times 4, we've got to do that first. Which is 112. We rewrite the sum. T equals 60 plus 112. T equals 172. Tommy would charge 172 pence. So again, we have to remember to just follow that BIDMAS rule. Okay? 172 pence. Yeah? 172 pence. Oh, but Tommy says, what if I did a job that took 6.45 hours? Off you go. How long would that take? How much would he earn for that? How much would he earn for that one? Same formula. One number changes, that's all. How much would it cost? 6.45 hours.
$180.6 hours.
205.
Yes. £240.60. The only difference there, was that H had changed from 4 to 6.45. That's the only difference. The rest of the formula stayed the same.
So you wouldn't need to convert 6.45 hours into minutes?
No, just use it 6.45. Yeah, just use it 6.45. Yeah. So yeah, £240.60.
Mental maths, get the email.